G'day, it's Lindsay Waddington here for another podcast, and today we have a good mate of mine and one of our greatest singers in Australian country music and a really nice guy, Mr. JamieDavis.
Thanks, Waddo.
How you going, mate?
Good, and yourself?
Yeah, it's great. Great to have you back here in the studio.
Oh, it's fantastic to be back here doing something again.
Let them know you're an Australian, proud Australian, but where are you from in Australia?
I'm from Tasmania, so Tassie's a little island just south of mainland Australia, surrounded by water. So I am from overseas, but but yeah, I'm a Tasmanian, Tasmanian.
Yeah, and what do you do down there, mate? Like I know you do a lot of entertaining, a lot of singing, but you do other things too?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm a volunteer firefighter.
Yeah.
I'm a volunteer ambulance officer, and I work hard.
Good on you, mate.
To try and make a living. So it's great.
Yeah, and I know we'll be talking more and you'll get to know more about Jamie's story, but check him out. He's got some great music and that, and it's on all good streaming services and where you can get in contact with Jamie if you know where, and he can post them out. I know you'll love it. If you love country music, you love Jamie's music. Getting back to being a fiery and a volunteer ambo, mate, you've done some wonderful things. Like anybody that volunteers their time to do that, I know that you're making a difference, and you know you're making a difference.
For sure. I think I started out when I was 12, so I started as a junior cadet, and I was a junior right through till I was 17, and I became the youngest volunteer firefighter at the age of 17 to be able to turn out to structure fires, house fires, the whole works. I was 17, which was a big achievement for me back then, but I think I owe being a volunteer firefighter my music career, because without that I probably wouldn't have started in music. Yeah, we actually had a big fire, and we'd been working there for 4 hours non-stop chasing this vegetation fire through the suburbs of Launceston, and about 4 hours into it, a lady turned up with a big basket full of food and beautiful hamburgers and stuff, and we thought, oh great, this fire service have finally decided to feed us. But after the event, we sort of went back to the main control point and we said, oh, thanks for the feed, you know, it was fantastic. Oh, we never fed you. So it was like, oh, well, where'd the food come from? So we made an effort to find out where the food came from, and it came from the local takeaway shop. And they, off their own back, had decided to do up some hamburgers and feed all the fireys. Anyway, the fire service said, you know, you find out who they are and we'll pay them for it. There's no problem there, and they wouldn't accept anything for it. The guy that was there, we thought we'd get a plaque made up for him, and we went round and had a chat to him, and on the counter was a CD, and I thought, geez, you know, country music. I grew up on country music.
So you didn't sing until this point?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, I was 20.
Yeah.
So I was 19, so at the time, and then I bought this CD off this guy and I took it home and put it in my car, and I couldn't stop playing it. I loved it. And that was old Frank Sargent. And I went back around a few weeks later and I said, oh mate, I really love that CD. I said, absolutely fantastic. He said, you like country music? I said, oh, well, I grew up on it. So he said, oh, we're having a jam session tomorrow night. Why don't you come around? And I sort of walked away from the that'd be great, but I was pretty naive. I didn't even know what a jam session was. Yeah. I was thinking I might have had to bring a pot of jam. It was, so I went around and sat in and enjoyed it. It was great.
So that was your first show?
That wasn't my first show. That was my very first introduction to country.
To singing at all? On stage or in front of people?
Yeah, no, it was just in his lounge room. So it was a really good thing for me to sit and watch two guys play guitar and jam.
And you sang that night?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I didn't. I was pretty shy.
So how long did it take you to get going?
Well, my 20th birthday. So it was probably about 3 weeks to my 20th birthday, and I invited Frank to come along. And
we should say too, Frank in Tasmania is an icon. Like he is one of the pioneers over there.
Frank.
He's in Australia too, but particularly in Tasmania, there wouldn't be anybody that doesn't know Frank's music or...
Oh, fantastic music.
Yeah, so...
Absolutely.
Sorry, mate, keep going.
No, you're right. So 20th birthday, I bought a barrel. So it was a big night, and all the fellas from the fire station came around, and Frank came around, and we decided to Frank bought his guitar, and he was having a great old time singing a few tunes, and I was loving it. And I just said to him, "Do you know you're my best friend?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you know it?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, I'll play it, you sing it." And I sort of, yeah, okay. I'd had a few beers under my belt. I was pretty chirpy. So I played it, and he played it, and I sang it. And from then on, he said, "Do you know any more?" And I said, "Yeah." And we just kept going, and the night went on, and that was my introduction to country music. And
so You're My Best Friend? First song you ever sang in front of people?
First song, yeah, very first. Yep, and then I think...
did you ever sing around the house? Did you know you could sing, or...?
Oh, yeah, I loved it.
So you knew that you weren't going to open your voice and go, squawk, squawk?
No, I was always pretty timid, but my grandparents had a farm about 15 k's out of Lonnie, and I used to spend a fair bit of time down there as a kid. Pop wasn't very well, so I used to spend most weekends down there helping him out. And I used to sing all the time. I'd be walking around with the dog, and I must have sung the ears off the dog, I reckon. But yeah. I used to sing all the time. I absolutely loved it.
And that's the dog that run away all the time?
Yeah, that's the one.
I'm joking, I'm joking.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, getting back to being a volunteer fiery in Ambo, James.
Yep.
You were sort of given one of the highest awards anybody could ever be given.
Yeah, I received the Commendation for Brave Conduct, under the Australian Bravery Decorations, which is, yeah.
Can you talk about it, or you'd rather?
Yeah, no, I'm happy to talk about it. So I was at home with, Dad, and was actually mowing the lawns, and I happened to look up and just seeing a big plume of black smoke come out of a house. And being a junior member, I was only 15 at the time. I investigated straight away, and we got there, and there was people standing around everywhere. There was, probably 30 people standing around, and the lady out the front screaming, "My baby's inside, my baby's inside." So myself and another guy, we went in and attempted to rescue the baby, but unfortunately the baby ended up perishing. But for our efforts, they awarded us the bravery medal.
Yeah, well, congratulations on that, but a very sad story in the end. But
it is.
It would have taken some ticker, but I suppose in training you wouldn't even think of that. It would have been just straight to work.
Well, back then, 15, I was only a junior, so I think it was just instinct. I'd been trained, but I wouldn't hesitate. I'd do the same thing again tomorrow if it was put in that situation.
Yeah,
wouldn't hesitate.
Good on you, mate. Now, you've done some wonderful things in music too, like numerous awards here in Australia, and you've been inducted into the Hall of Fame in America.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm proud to say I have too, and it's a mighty, what do you say, like, you just can't believe it, can you? Like being country kids like us, it's incredible.
No, it's pretty amazing. Can't think you come from Tasmania and then you wind up being recognised in another country. That's pretty amazing. But
Bush Balladeer of the Year in the Gold Medallion Awards, which are voted by radio presenters all around Australia.
Yeah, I've got a couple of those.
Yeah. Tassie, you've done well in the Tassie Awards down there.
Tassie Awards, I seem to have had a pretty good run there the last few years.
Yeah. Now, just tell the people out there, you've worked with some really, really high-profile artists and that, and I know you speak, like we're good mates and we speak about it often, but just mention a couple of people who have helped shape you become who you are today.
Well, probably the most influential person in my early career was Frank Sargent.
Yes.
He gave me a great leg up and a great guidance, but he introduced me to Barry Thornton.
Legend.
Yeah, so I had about 5 years working with Baz. He really...
Wasn't he a showman? And a great guitar picker.
Unbelievable.
What a showman.
Back then, so I was learning guitar as well, so it was great for him. Look, for a bloke who, as professional as he is, for an amateur like me who'd just come off the street, to be standing beside him and pretty much learning to play guitar, you couldn't ask. He was just so full of support and like what more could someone ask for?
And you've travelled with one of our greatest comics here in Australia, comedians, for a lot of years.
Yeah, I've had about 20 years on the road with Col Elliott. Now that has been an amazing experience.
He's a doer.
He's one of the most genuine, down-to-earth souls within the Australian industry. I don't know whether you'd say country music industry or comedy
just
industry.
in the entertainment industry.
In the entertainment industry,
across
definitely.
everywhere.
Yeah, he's the soul of the earth. You wouldn't find a more genuine, down to earth bloke. Couldn't ask for anyone else to look after you on the road. God, mate, he'll feed you. He gives you a bed. What more could you ask for?
Yeah.
And really looks after the people who work for him.
Yeah, he's a lovely man. Lovely man. Now, just another quick one. So, you're still recording, which is fantastic.
I am.
So, we've talked about the first song you've learnt. What would be the first song you recorded?
Well, the very first song I ever recorded, I went to Tamworth, believe it or not, and recorded it with Lindsay Butler on the LBS Country Collection Volume 4.
Another one of our legends and guitar heroes in Australia.
Oh, mate, I was sort of overwhelmed with it all. It was a big deal to come from Tassie and to be going to record with Lindsay Butler.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great. But Cradle Mountain was the song. It was the song that we wrote about, that I wrote about Cradle Mountain in Tasmania. Dad had some claim to fame to it.
Yeah?
He
drove you to the studio?
Yeah, he drove me to the studio. No, I woke up one night and I was mucking around at the table writing this song, and then I got up the next morning and I come out and there was about another 4 lines written, and I went, who wrote that? And I'm like, Dad. He's like, yeah, what do you think, boy? I said, yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
So Dad wrote 4 lines to the song, and it was sort of it was pretty cool.
So in the family, like I know, but you tell the people, so
Yep.
your old man plays too?
Yeah, Dad plays bass for me.
Yeah.
So back in the day when Frank was teaching myself to play guitar, Dad used to sit in, and Frank said, well, if you're going to sit in, you might as well learn to play bass. So Dad learned to play bass. So all the stuff that I was learning, Dad was learning on the bass guitar. So it was sort of, from a family that sort of never had a real lot to do with playing music, we always listened to it.
Anyone else sing in the family?
No.
No, just yourself?
Yeah, just myself.
Yeah.
My grandmother was a good yodeler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so she always used to tell me how good she could yodel, and then, sure enough,
She let go one day?
Yeah, I think I might have got the genes off her.
That's fantastic. Now, if there was one artist that you're like, if I could do a show with them tomorrow and click my fingers, who would it be?
Well, the future or the past?
Oh, either. If you could make it happen tomorrow, who would it be?
Tomorrow, okay, it'd have to be George Strait.
George Strait.
I love George Strait.
Yeah, there you go.
I love his music. I love how country he is. Yeah.
You can feel that influence in your music.
I love George Strait.
Yeah, a good one, James.
Yeah. And Lindsay Waddington, of course.
Oh, yeah. And sorry, I don't think the camera picked that up. Yeah, so you're still doing the fiery thing. You're still an Ambo. You're still recording music. What's in the near future, mate? What do you think you're going to be doing?
Well, that's a good question. I don't think anybody can tell you what the future's going to hold, but hopefully record a few more songs.
Great.
Release a few more albums. Finish paying off the house. Travel.
And travel.
Travel, playing music. I think that'd be...
Where's your first destination, mate? If you could, once again, click your fingers and go somewhere tomorrow, where's burning you? Where do you want to go?
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
I've always had this dream of going to New Zealand.
Yeah, they reckon the sheep are nice over there.
Yeah, no, they say it's a lot like Tassie, but...
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and second on that would probably be either America or Alaska. I'd love to go to Alaska.
Both beautiful places.
You've travelled, haven't you? You've been to these places?
Been very lucky, yes. Yeah, been very lucky.
Green with envy.
Yeah. I've got a wife that keeps me, mate, so she makes the money and lets me fly around. Well, it's been great speaking to you, mate.
Thanks for speaking to me, Wad.
And it's always a pleasure to have you in the studio recording. I love your new songs. If anyone wants to see JamieDavis or hear his music, follow it. I know if you love country music, you will love JamieDavis. Thanks, mate, for being here and having a chat. See you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed today's episode. For more episodes, you can check out my YouTube channel or the podcast app and follow my social media at Lindsay Waddington Music. See you all down the track somewhere.